Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the entire NFL right now. But what if we put Patrick Mahomes in a different era of the NFL? An era which featured some of the hardest hitting defensive players of all time. Would he still dominate the league? Well, today in Madden 23, we reset the NFL to the year 2005 to figure out what would happen. I'm giving Mahomes 3 years to accomplish these following goals. Throw for 45 passing touchdowns in a single season. Throw for 4,700 passing yards in a single season. Win an NFL MVP. Make the playoffs 2 out of the 3 years and win 1 Super Bowl. However, before we get into our first year of the simulation, we need to know which NFL team Patrick Mahomes is going to go to. We are going to give him a random NFL team back in the 2000s, and let's see what we have here. He's going to be going to the Vegas Raiders. Here is Patrick Mahomes on the Vegas Raiders, and sadly, because we do not have some of the current players in this roster, we actually don't have the player model for Patrick Mahomes, so this is what we have. This Mahomes does have all the abilities, all the stats that a real Patrick Mahomes would have. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, just like Patrick Mahomes is in this game. His ratings are the exact same. I took the stats from the real Mahomes, put it on this guy. We have 97 throw power, 91 accuracy, 93 medium, 97 short. Then when we go over to the abilities here, he has Bazooka, he has Dashing Deadeye, Red Zone Deadeye, Pass Lead Elite, No Look Deadeye, and Comeback. And I know that some of you are going to want to check out your favorite team's roster. This is again the 2005 NFL season with all the current players that were in the league in 2005. So if you want to see your team, just pause it. I don't want to go roster by roster. That would just take too much time. So I'm going to go one by one here just so you all can see. Maybe we'll take a look at some of these players, talk about them, but I'm going to go one by one very quickly. Not going to do a deep dive, so pause the video if you want to check them out. We got the 49ers, my Giants with Tiki Barber, Michael Strahan, New York Jets, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, a custom Aaron Rodgers on this roster as well. On the Patriots, Tom Brady is back. You can see Brady doesn't have the same player model as real Tom Brady either. The Raiders, we have Randy Moss on this team. We'll get into this Raiders roster in a second. We have the Rams with Orlando Pace. We have the Ravens with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Chris McAllister. The Saints with Joe Horn, Deuce McAllister. We have the Seahawks with Steve Hutchinson, Sean Alexander, Troy Polamalu for the Steelers. The Texans, we have Andre Johnson. We finish it off with the Titans and the Minnesota Vikings. And here is the offense for this Raiders team. The offensive line is okay across the board, but the main player that we have here for Patrick Mahomes to run with for these next 3 years is going to be 99 overall, Randy Moss. His defense is solid as well. We have Warren Sapp. We have Charles Woodson on this team, so we'll see what the Raiders can do. And Patrick Mahomes is ready to go here. We're in Los Angeles, who would then be the San Diego Chargers back in 2005, but they are the Vegas Chargers here. And we're going to be our first incomplete pass for Patrick Mahomes to Jerry Porter. And this Chargers team is going to have guys like Antonio Gates, Phillip Rivers, LT, LaDainian Tomlinson. So this Chargers team has a really good case to win the AFC West. And Mahomes looking for Randy Moss, and it's going to be broken up. After this drive, we are going to skip over to midseason and see how Mahomes and the Raiders are doing. Hopefully, we have the playoffs in year 1. This team is pretty good. We'll see what the rest of the AFC is looking like with Brady here, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. We're going deep for Randy Moss, and he stays in bounds for a big completion. And Mahomes already has X factor for this team with only 2 completions. Moss is in motion at the bottom. What are we looking at here? Play action. Mahomes, he's slinging it. He's looking for Moss, just out of the reach of Randy Moss. We got a 3rd and 6, another play action. Where's Mahomes going to go? I think he's looking for Moss again. He is. Randy Moss and Mahomes. Oh, Randy Moss breaking a tackle all the way down to the 1. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. And they punch it in. Is Mahomes going to play action? No, it's going to be the run, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Raiders. Pretty good start from Mahomes and the Raiders. They're 4-2 in year number 1 halfway through, but the Chargers, like I said, they have LT, Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates. They have a stacked roster. The Chargers are going to be a really hard team to beat. But also, we're in the AFC, so not only do we have to face the Chargers, we're also going to have to compete with Peyton Manning and the Colts, the Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger, Troy Polamalu. Obviously, I said the Chargers already. New England, Tom Brady, and the Patriots. The Ravens with Ray Lewis. The AFC is stacked. Mahomes is playing really good, though, because they're only 6 games in because they had an early bye. He almost has 1,800 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 2 picks. If we take a look at the passing yard leaders for the season so far, we have Chris Sims at the top for the Bucs, Michael Vick, we have Carson Palmer. Drew Brees actually is the QB for the Chargers. I thought it was Phillip Rivers, but Drew Brees is actually the starting QB before he goes to New Orleans. We have Eli Manning for my Giants, Chad Pennington, Kerry Collins. We have Brett Favre. There's a lot of great QB options. Surprisingly, Randy Moss is not the #1 receiver right now through 6 games. Him and Jerry Porter, though, over 450 yards receiving. A tough second half for the Raiders. They wound up going 8-9 to finish the season. They missed the playoffs with the Chiefs and Chargers both getting in. In the AFC, it's the Colts and Peyton Manning going 16-1. #1 seed in the AFC. Steelers are 15-2. And then obviously the Patriots and Tom Brady 11-6. The NFC has the Giants going 14-3, first in the NFC, and the Eagles right behind them, and Michael Vick and the Falcons winning the South. Mahomes still threw for a lot of passing yards, 4,903, 29 touchdowns and 12 picks. NFL's passing leader is not Tom Brady, not Peyton Manning, not Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Brett Favre. It's actually Chris Sims of the Tampa Bay Bucks with 5,647 yards and 45 touchdowns. Edgerrin James of the Indianapolis Colts leads the league in rushing this year with almost 1,922 touchdowns. Then for the receivers, Torrey Holt and Joey Galloway are the top 2 receiving leaders in the league this year. Holt with 1,761 yards and 19 touchdowns for the Rams. The Super Bowl winds up being brother versus brother, Peyton versus Eli, with Eli and the Giants winning 31-28. Eli gets Super Bowl MVP. McNabb gets regular season MVP. Arthur Smith wins Coach of the Year. Torrey Holt, Offensive Player of the Year. Leonard Little of the Rams winning Defensive Player of the Year. Roethlisberger and Sean Merriman with the Rookie of the Year. Going into year 2, it's about the same exact roster on offense for this team. And on defense, we actually lost Warren Sapp. But Mahomes is ready to play in year 2 because they start up the season 6-1. Mahomes is 7 games in. He's making a play towards that MVP with 2,155 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 4 picks. So the Raiders had a little bit of a shaky second half from 6-1 to 11-6, but still good enough to win the division. We got the Bengals with Peyton Manning now going 13-4, first in the AFC. Colts without Manning still in second. Ravens 12-5, and we're the #4 seed. Leading the NFC is going to be the Panthers, followed up by the Falcons, Eagles, and Bears. And take a look at Mahomes' passing yards and touchdowns, first in the NFL in both. 5,440 yards for Mahomes, 48 touchdowns, 10 picks. With Randy Moss going for 1,660 yards, 14 touchdowns, and Jerry Porter almost 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. And after a season like that, we knew who was going to win the MVP, and it's Patrick Mahomes. And with Patrick Mahomes having an unreal season, we can cross off 3 goals in 1 year. And now, fresh off an MVP, we have the Raiders taking on the Steelers in the wildcard round. We've pretty much taken care of every other goal at this point now through 2 years, besides win a Super Bowl, and what a throw by Mahomes, and all the way down to the 15-yard line before going out of bounds. Just like that, the Raiders are in business, and they're looking to punch it in for their first touchdown in the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes. We have Randy Moss still, Porter, good blocking by the offensive line. People are getting pancaked on the Steelers, and Randy Moss, who else, with a touchdown in the playoffs. And this game has pretty much opened up for the Raiders, who have put up 34 points on the defense of the Steelers with Troy Polamalu and a lot of other great defenders, and they're sending home the Steelers. Now that brings us to a matchup in the divisional round versus the Colts without Peyton Manning. Mahomes got it done at home. Can he get it done on the road here for the Raiders? I don't even know who the QB is for the Colts, honestly. Looking for Randy Moss, and it's just out of the reach. I don't know how Peyton Manning's not on this team. I don't know if his contract expired, if they traded him, whatever happened, but he's on the Bengals now. We got to take advantage. And there is Patrick Mahomes picking up the first. Now we have a 3rd and 1 for Mahomes and the Raiders over midfield of the Colts 42. Is it a run? No, it's play action. Mahomes on 3rd and 1. Offensive line is playing great until right there. Pressure off the edge, but Mahomes was trying to get it towards the end zone, and it's thrown incomplete. And it looks like they'll punt, but let's see if it's a fake, possibly. It is a fake! It really is a fake! Oh, can the punter run for the first down? Where is he going? And I think the Colts take over. I don't know what that was. The QB for the Colts after Peyton Manning, as you guessed it, Garrett Salisbury. And if that's a real person, I apologize to Garrett, because I've never heard that name before, ever in my life. I have never heard that name before. But if you can beat Patrick Mahomes and the Raiders, you will be hearing that name a lot. This Colts offense is really good, though. If they had Peyton, they'd probably be undefeated. They got Edgerrin James, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison to the end zone, and it's thrown out of reach. The Colts, 29-28 Colts. If they pick up one more first down, it's over, and it's 2nd and inches. But sometimes the Madden AI don't know what they're doing, so they might just go in. Yep, they score the touchdown. Mahomes will have a chance to get the ball back to tie. Mahomes has thrown for 4 touchdowns, 1 pick this game. He's had 41 pass attempts. He's been really good. And he looks over the middle, has his receiver open to the 47. They're able to get up to the line in about 10 seconds. They didn't have to use their timeout yet. With the 47, they need 47 more, and over the middle again. And it's going to be caught by Porter, who takes it to the 33. They're able to save their timeout again. 34 seconds left over the middle this time. They're going to get to about the 15-yard line. They're going to have a good chance to tie this. The timeout finally off the board for this team, so no more timeouts. Anything over the middle of the field could end the game if they can't get down in time. Mahomes, 16 seconds over the middle, but if you go to the end zone, you can go over the middle. Jerry Porter with the touchdown for a tie game or the end of the Raiders season. Mahomes looking for Moss, and Randy Moss has tied this game. Welcome to overtime. Mahomes has the ball first. 5-yard rush. It's 3rd and 3, and he's picked off by David Thornton. Mahomes, after tying the game, has been picked off, and now the Colts can pretty much run this ball and kick a field goal and win it. 4th and 10, we jump in for the season after a great drive by Mahomes to tie the game up with a 2-point conversion. They can lose this game right here. Let's see. Hopefully they miss. Gotta miss. Gotta miss. Mahomes has played so good. It's up. And the Colts have eliminated Mahomes and the Raiders. Year 2 ends with Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things because, again, he's on the Patriots. They win Super Bowls. It's as easy as that. 28-14 over the Cardinals. You have Eugene Wilson winning Super Bowl MVP. 7-time champions for the Patriots. Mahomes, obviously, like we said, won MVP. Matt Rule wins Coach of the Year. Torrey Holt, again, Offensive Player of the Year. Julius Peppers, Defensive Player of the Year. And with 1 season to go, this is the final Raiders roster. Defense does look like it got a little bit better, though. After a great second year, the 3rd year is not going our way because the Raiders are last place in the AFC West, going 2-5. With 1 game to go, every other team in the AFC West has clinched playoffs. The Raiders are 7-9 and will not be making it. And because this is the last game for Mahomes we're going to have in this simulation, I decided, why not play with Mahomes and the all-time Raiders a little bit? Or not the all-time Raiders, rather this version of a Raiders team from the 2000s. Can I hit Randy Moss? That would be great. With Ray Lewis on this team, you have Ed Reed, ton of great Ravens defenders, and Randy Moss is still getting in the end zone. Mahomes and the Raiders are able to actually win that final game and go 8-9. Mahomes still threw for a lot of yards, 4,908, 33 touchdowns, and 10 picks. Receiving numbers for Randy Moss were amazing, 1,372, and Jerry Porter, 1,219. The passing leader for this year is Peyton Manning, throw for 5,464 yards, 47 touchdowns. Edgerrin James has been dominant in this simulation. 1,769 yards, 15 touchdowns. LT with 21. Marty Booker and Dante Stallworth are going to lead receivers in the 3rd year with 1,739, 13 touchdowns. And Dwight Freeney in year number 3 is going to lead this league with 30.5 sacks. Year 3 ends with the Chargers winning the Super Bowl over the Atlanta Falcons, with Drew Brees winning Super Bowl MVP. I guess Phillip Rivers never wind up taking the starting job from Drew Brees. He never goes to New Orleans. We have Peyton Manning winning MVP, Ramiro Gallo for the Vikings winning Coach of the Year, Curtis Martin wins Offensive Player of the Year. No shock from Dwight Freeney winning Defensive Player of the Year. And if you're on PlayStation 5 and would like to try this roster for yourself, search up 2005 by Big Chimney and download it. That's gonna do it for the video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. In the comments down below, let me know what challenge, what video do you want to see next. Peace.